Riff and Russ.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Riff and Russ. Woo! It's been a minute.
Post-apocalyptic setup. Yeah.
Looks like Riff's game room. It's a little different.
Needs some. It's in the process. Go watch one of our last videos. You'll see what happened. So
that's it. Yeah, coming along. I'd say I have some new news as well. If you guys haven't seen the announcement, I actually started another channel called Bit by Bit.
Yep.
So that's going to be all video game focused. So we're thinking I'm probably going to end up moving Riff and Russ over to that channel and keep RussLyman as like DIY stuff.
That's a lot of people are trying stuff like that because YouTube's a weird world. Sometimes you'll have a channel and it's really good, like on yours, on all ends, you're doing the right stuff, but YouTube's just like, he's been around long enough. We're not going to really play with his algorithm anymore. You know, hi, kitty.
Meow. Benny.
Yeah.
Benny wants to join the podcast.
Just tail.
Just his tail.
Just tail.
So today's topic, we're actually chatting about what do we look for in collecting and playing these old retro games?
Yeah.
It's a pretty open topic, I would say. And kind of why are we going out there collecting these games that's been around for God knows how long? Is it nostalgia or other connections to it?
I mean, it's gotta be, I think I've mentioned it before, but what we look for, I mean, it's so related to nostalgia. And I think that's more powerful than ever because we're in the modern era especially where emulation is now pretty darn accepted. You know, it's a pretty, everyone's on board with emulation, it seems, at this point. So,
right. And it's easier to access it. Like I have my SNES Classic modded so I can play all these retro games on there easily.
Exactly. So for us to go out there and make the journey to pick what we're going to look for inside of anything physical that we want to pay money for, that we can sadly essentially get it for free, probably, right. 9 times out of 10, you can get it for free. You could play the game for free. I think it's got to be nostalgia still pulling at you to make you need to get it.
Right. Something where you were growing up and you enjoyed playing that game, or maybe even the nostalgia of going to a video rental store and seeing these old games on the shelf and renting them for the weekend. So now you're out at a flea market and you see that same game and you're like, you know what? I would pay $5, $10 for this to kind of experience that again.
Yeah. I feel like you mentioned the $5. That kind of brings up a question. Like, do you put any effort, or do you see people doing this still, or what do you think the general consensus of the retro world now that, again, now the emulation is so accepted, so easy, so accessible, the money that you're willing to pay, for said game, for said nostalgia, is it worth paying $25 to $40 for a game that you're pretty darn nostalgic about, but just to get that? I feel like nostalgia too, it's like that initial feeling of like buying it, holding it, putting it in, playing the first level. I'd say once you get so deep into the game, of course it feels good, but it's almost like you lost that initial rush of like, I'm in nostalgia, what I mean?
Right.
Not saying it's not exciting still to beat the game and go through it. That's still exciting.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just saying that physical feeling of nostalgia, I feel like after a round or two, not dies, but dwindles a little. So it makes you wonder, like, is it worth paying the 25 to 40 just to get that moment,
Right. You're essentially reliving what you remember as a child. Maybe you didn't get past the first level when you were a kid. So like now you're a little bit better at video games. So you're like, okay. And you get past those later levels and you're like, is this as good as I thought it was? Or like, is it, putting the value, maybe I only would have spent $5 to $10 on this. I really dropped $60, $100 on some of these rare, NES games. And you're like, I don't know.
It's hard because like we're so diehard, tried and true collectors to the core, but and you do see it in people. I mean, I know my personal group within the squad and friends and collectors and whatnot. Yes, there's still a ton of us who still are fully collecting a ton. We have much more than what you see in this room, so much going on.
Right.
But it's like I do see so many people not dying to get things, even when they find a game that's pretty good bargain.
Hmm.
At the end of the table, hey, there's a Contra, $20, $15, even maybe 10 sometimes. I'll still have friends, even us, who are like, yeah, I guess,
Well, so
maybe.
you probably already have a Contra. Do you need a second one? You're saying people
Yeah,
that maybe don't
but
have the
even
game?
then, think about it. Even back in the days of like when game hunting first started and stuff, it didn't matter
Right.
if you had it. You know,
That's true.
no
You're
one's
just like,
like,
I'll grab that big lot. Sure. 20 bucks, 30
exactly.
bucks.
No one cared. No one was like, oh, I got a Contra. I'm going to pass on this $5 Contra. No, everybody was like, oh, I have 20 of them now, or people. I mean, I used to see pictures all over collecting groups back in the day where someone has just like stacks of Nintendos,
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, I mean, like when I'm going out there looking for like the retro games, um, I already now have most of the ones that I grew up with, essentially.
yeah.
Like I got them maybe in box. That was like, okay, maybe I got them loose the first set. Now, maybe I want to get Super Mario Brothers boxed or Batman boxed. So I got a lot of the core games I remember growing up with that I enjoyed a lot boxed, and got the manual. You kind of get these subsets of with the collecting. Okay, I got the cart. Maybe I want to get the box. Maybe I want to get the manual, and instead of buying it all together in one piece.
Yeah, I've seen lately a big thing that I'm seeing because, collecting's been around for, the collecting scene got popular for a while. The complete in box became big, sealed became big. I see a lot of people now that are like calling it like true complete in box or true CIB. And people are looking for, because, when you buy a copy of, let's say, Mortal Kombat 2 on the Genesis, it didn't just come with a manual, a cart, and a box.
Right.
It would come with these inserts, that are
Okay.
like, hey, buy this and you can get this t-shirt or like a weird coupon code or something, whatever it is.
Right.
So a lot of people now are like, when you're like, oh, the game's CIB, they're like, well, is it true CIB? Like, is it like
another
the
tier
real
now?
CIB? And I'm like, wow, that's some next level collecting. I'm not going to lie. I use that as an example because I was guilty of it. I was selling a copy of Mortal Kombat 2 like that on Mercari.
Yep.
Someone asked me and I had the insert and he's like, I don't want the game. I'll just give you $15 for the insert. And I was like, 15 for the insert? That's like more than the game.
Right. Yeah. You're like, well, I'll send it in with the case because it acts as protection.
Needless to say, that is gone now in their hands. So it's like, I don't need it. I don't care. I guess for me, CIB was never a thing because as a kid, would get the boxes, but I never cared about the boxes.
Right.
I would like to look at them and hold them and read them and get that nostalgic feeling, but I wasn't like, let me preserve the box.
Right. I only had very few games from my childhood that I kept the box. But again, with the Nintendo games, they came in these cardboard boxes and you're like, it's just packaging, takes up more room where I'm going to store them. Whereas if you got a Sega Genesis cart, it's in that hard shell plastic.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll hang on to this because it's going to protect the game a lot more.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to make that clear. It wasn't like, obviously we talk about physical. It was so much better back then. How you got it, you got to look at it, cherish it, which is true. But again, as a kid, you look at it, cherish it, enjoy it. And then you're like, you'd still have it around the house somewhere, but
Oh, right. Yeah. Maybe throw it in your closet.
Yeah, you'd find it here and there and go, this is sick, and read it again and look at the pictures again, the bad guys and the enemies. But yeah, as far as, I think that's why I never necessarily went for like CIB collecting. It wasn't even a thought really, I feel like, ever in the game collecting world for me. I never really even, it just seemed like such a nuisance to collecting and so hard.
Right. And then obviously it drives the value up of the instead of just getting the cart. Like one of the games I like is Monster in My Pocket, but it actually came with a Monster in My Pocket special figure. So now you can not only get a complete box, you have to get it with that figure too. And so that makes it even harder.
There's a few games that do that. I know Gauntlet on the N64, there's a version that has a figure. I think there's a Batman game on maybe GameCube or PS2 that comes with like a little figure or something.
Yeah, I think maybe Micro Machines. I want to say some card game maybe came with a small.
I can't remember if Micro Machines.
I'm not 100%. Or if I'm just.
Was it Micro Machines on the NES? Like
it was
a weird like brand or something.
Oh, the cart was like a different color. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like an off. It wasn't like your typical NES cart, Yeah.
I will say I've seen stuff coming up. So it's like, all right, you're going out there collecting retro. And so maybe you're trying to get different subsets now. Maybe you're doing collections. And I seen someone they wanted a complete, I don't know if it was just N64, but it was the Blockbuster Video, like subset, the games that were just at like Blockbuster. And with the Blockbuster, like, oh, that's what he wanted to do. I think it was a complete N64 set, but with Blockbuster Video, like rental stickers on the carts.
Wow.
And I was like, that's, it gives it a new challenge. Like most people want to remove these stickers from the games. Yeah, and he was like, sticker makes it sicker.
Yeah. Dude, so that is so wild.
Yeah. So you think of these new ways to collect retro. You're like, all right, I already got the carts. What if I, get these certain rental stick? Maybe you want to have a subset of cool, like retro rental store sticker games.
Yeah.
That kind of preserves history in there rather than removing these stickers, it kind of makes it look cool. And you're like, oh, okay, someone rented this game back in the day and it has their address here.
Yeah. There's so many avenues into collecting retro. It's so hard for me too, because I feel like overall, if I look at it, yes, I'm a gamer first. I know that's a topic, but like the thrill of the hunt is so important for me. And I guess maybe our channel, because we've always done it like as a group. So I've always had so much fun actually looking for the games, probably equal, maybe even more sometimes than actually enjoying the games or whatnot. So for me, it's like what I'm looking for, I guess with the title of the video, what I look for in collecting is like, I've gotten that nostalgic thrill before, right? We were all searching for that nostalgic moment again. Like, there it is. I live. And I've gotten that so many times, which is great. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I mean, I can watch the same scene in Home Alone every time and cry without, it takes 2 minutes. But I feel like I'm really searching for that thrill again of like those deals that don't exist. Like that like exhilarating moment of like a, back lifting up a trash bag at a swap meet. And that's just
right.
full of gold, so to say.
Well, I just watched Mr. Rightway just posted a video and he found a sealed copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube at GameStop too. So I thought that was unique. Like it was on GameStop.
Did you see our video with Gabo?
Gabo got the.
I mean that I truly
random
think that is one of the
in a desert.
Biggest, that's going to be one of the biggest finds in. I mean, let's be real. If he grades it and sells them, he's going to get between. I've talked to a lot of people who do this after that video. A lot of people probably like 20 to 50. $20 to $50K. Yeah. I'll get about 20 to 50,000. So
right. It was a box of sealed NES games.
Box of sealed NES games.
Was there like 6 or 7 of them or something?
There was like 8 or something, and they're clean. And the Mario 2, the Zelda, I mean not the Final Fantasy.
Right, Final Fantasy was in there.
There's Tetris, there's Pac-Man, and they're all sealed, and there's more Balloon Fight and something else. So yeah, it was crazy. We had so many people reach out to us
that wanted to purchase them.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I think Gabo got that, like that feeling that I have been that I've been wanting again. That feeling of like you scored the gold mine. I mean, I got to live it through Gabo because he called me, and he was just freaking.
Oh, I bet. Like he didn't know what to do.
Freaking out, like scared. He was in the middle of the desert. He's like, "What if somebody breaks into my car?"
Wow.
This and that. So
I thought it was hilarious. How did you? You just happen to have some white gloves to handle the games with you.
We got them.
Oh, okay. Just like
when he told me, No, we filmed that video like a week after he found it.
Okay.
Yeah, when he found it, I was like, hey, if we're gonna not open them, but like take them out of the box and look at them,
handle them. Yeah.
I'm like, if you're gonna grade them, he didn't know at the time if he was gonna grade them or not. But I'm like, if you're gonna end up grading them, you might want to take really good care because the slightest nick can take it from a 9.2 to a 8.5, whatever it means.
Right.
Yeah. So we talked to a lot of people reached out to us after that, which is very funny. So
classic. Yeah. Let's switch gears and talk about what we look for when we're playing these old retro games.
Ooh, I love it.
We're kind of curious on that. A lot of times, you buy all these games and then you never play them. You
Yeah,
just put them on the
it's
shelf.
so true. It's so true. Not me apparently anymore. Take them out of here. So, Kai, what about you? What do you look for?
I would say, good music,
Oh yeah.
obviously, because we're, when we're editing too, we're trying to find excellent music. So,
Always.
sometimes I'll find an awesome soundtrack and I'm like, I need to check this game out to see if it lives up to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So like Journey to Silius, fantastic
So good.
soundtrack. I've been dying to beat the game. It's very difficult. So I'm trying to go through that. A lot of them, I will say now, I've been playing them on my SNES Classic where I can use save states to get a little bit further. It's like, I don't have the time to really get good at these games to like properly beat them. But if I can, beat them in that sense, I still, feel a sense of completion and I get to see the game through myself rather than just watching like a let's play of the game.
Yeah, I think you can still get a good level of satisfaction because I beat a few games like that. Maybe 2 years ago, I kind of beat a bunch of games using save states. And I feel like I definitely still got that feeling of like, okay, that felt really good to beat. And I didn't feel like ashamed, but at the same time, I didn't go bragging to the whole world like, oh, I don't remember what games it was, Battletoads or whatnot. I beat it. I just kind of kept it to myself because I guess you only feel a little dirty if you're telling people you beat it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done a few live streams. Like I played Batman and we live streamed it on NES and I beat it. But like, people are watching me where I'm, save stating and then reloading the state. Some people will come in and be like, oh, well, what are you playing on? I'm like, well, it's an SNES Classic. But I mean, even with the Switch, they have Switch Online with NES and Super Nintendo games, and you can save state on there and even rewind the time. So you can almost do it faster because you don't have to save state, load state.
I mean, that's a whole different topic. Is that truly beating a video game? You know what I mean?
Right.
I guess in the literal sense, you got to the ending. So yes, but did you beat it like the tried and true OG way? No. Could you have beat it back in the day or as a,
well, what if you used the Game Genie back in the day? Was that beating it? Right.
True. Which is still a hack though.
Right.
Yeah. I'd say like, have I beat Battletoads? Yes. And I would never just feel comfortable like telling someone, yes, I beat Battletoads and then walk away. I'd have to like explain like, yeah, I beat it, but I beat it using save states. So take what you will with that, But needless to say, that's why, I'm looking at a whole wall of VHS tapes up here that I have that are how to beat this, how to get better scores at this.
Oh, nice. I have 2 of those that I had.
I have a ton.
One is like a someone recorded it and just like put a sticker on it or whatever.
Oh no, these are all like legit. I love this one.
Nice.
How to get great scores at these games. Legendary Wings, Adventures of Lolo, Bionic Commando, Adventure Island. So many good ones. Yeah, just so cool. Yeah, love it.
I definitely love those tapes. Yeah, checking out, how to get the tips and tricks on those old VHS tapes. It's definitely nostalgic with that. What I would like to do, almost I haven't in a while, is play a game with like a Nintendo Power. The tips and tricks in that. Kind of bringing it back to that more nostalgia. You're sitting down and you got your Nintendo Power magazine and you're flipping through it and using that as your guide.
As your guide, man. Yeah, I love that. For me, when I'm playing games, I don't know what I'm looking for. I guess it just depends. Normally, when I'm going back to retro games,
right,
I'm normally looking for an hour of enjoyment. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. And you could do that so easily with the NES, Super, like all those games.
Yeah, I'm looking for just an hour of enjoyment. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily looking for like feeling a sense of accomplishment, but it's almost like feeling a sense of like, almost like weirdly enough, like I'll do it at the end of the night for like, 30 minutes to an hour, but it's almost like looking for like therapy. You know what I mean? Not that like I need therapy literally at the end of the night, but it's like almost like therapeutic to just put it on, not really think and just play.
Just because they're so simple about you got, minimal button combinations and it's
even if I'm getting smoked, even if I'm getting totally wrecked in the game,
right?
I'm not sitting there like, oh, dang it. I'm just like, it just feels good to sit back and hit some levels and hear, like you said, hear some of the music, get those like nostalgia cues from the intro of a game, the way it sounds, the sound effects. And you're like, yeah, I'm good. All right. I'm good for the night, turn it off. And we're not necessarily doing what, like, guys like Mega Man or Captain Algebra or these guys are, trying to battle
really putting the
through
time in. Yeah, really get through all those. I will say, like, Anata, newer games, when I'm on like the Nintendo eShop and I'm scrolling through, there's so many new games that play on that nostalgia feeling where the graphics look retro.
Oh, totally.
And I
It's
find
huge.
myself buying a lot of those just to, and even with some of those, like they're quick, like, 1 hour session games you can beat.
Yep. Yeah, there was one called Flynn, Adventures of Flynn or something I beat recently. And that was like maybe like a 2 hour, 3 hour game, but they get you, man, with those sprites. You scroll through the eShop or the Game Pass, whatever, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
sprites, I'm in,
I was just at Target today. I was walking through, I was actually looking for like Christmas ornaments that were retro. So
that's cool.
I picked up like
Are you
an
talking
NES
like
controller.
Okay, I was gonna say, do you mean like retro games or like retro
games, yeah.
nostalgic world?
And they had like, Sonic the Hedgehog, and a few others. But I seen these toys walking by the toy aisle. I took a picture and I was like, they're obviously, let's see if it will focus.
Wait, pull back. There it is. Is that a foosball table?
So it's a foosball table.
Yo, that's
and
dope.
It looks like a black box game. The art.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
so
like
they kind of like mocked off of the whole
like Nintendo black box.
Oh, there you go.
Galaxy
that one's cool. That's obviously like the not asteroids. What is the little
Galaga? Yeah. Yeah, there's like 3 of them or something like that. And I was like, see, they're playing off those nostalgia feelings. You're walking by like, oh my God, that looks like a retro game. I'd pick that up. You can play it for 10 minutes.
Nostalgia's hot, bro.
Put it on the shelf.
Did you watch 8-Bit Christmas?
Yes, of course.
What'd you think?
I thought it was good. I had a little bit higher expectations because I thought it'd be more with like, I don't know, Nintendo stuff. Like it seemed they could have went, I guess, with more nostalgia of the Nintendo stuff, but maybe legally they couldn't. Like they played with the Power Glove and it was some random game.
And I'm sure that not everyone that's watching is strictly looking for that Nintendo necessarily nostalgia that we are, right? For us, it was almost like it was a good tie-in for us to be like, oh my gosh, it's revolved around getting a Nintendo. You could almost say it. You could almost say it should have been called the NES Pursuit. But
nice.
No, but that's what's in. I showed it to my kids and stuff. Obviously, they know Nintendo and stuff because of us, but they loved it. Except they didn't love the ending. But I loved the ending as a dad.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because spoiler, I'm going to say it now. Spoiler, if you haven't seen it, turn it off now.
Turn it off now.
Or skip like ahead. 2 minutes. When it ended, for me as a dad, like. That's we're in the modern era. Kids want things and they want it now. And I'm sure it was even the same with Nintendo and all that,
Right.
They want it now. I want a phone. I want this. I want this. I want that. And it's like, personally, it's a personal thing. I tell my kids, no. I'm like, you can earn it. You can work for it. I take them to a Retro Games Plus actually every Wednesday now. And I don't buy them anything, but I let them
walk around.
I let them work for it. Oh, I really want the shirt, Dad, please. I'm like, maybe if you save up in a month, you can get it. Do I have the money for it? Absolutely. Do I love my kids? Absolutely. But I want them to earn it. And that's why I loved this movie ended. He's like, yeah, of course I got my Nintendo. I worked my butt off for it.
Right.
But what I got is something sentimental with my dad. My dad built me something. My dad worked hard and now it's paid off my whole life. And then it showed like the dad's cup who wasn't there any longer. And I was like,
definitely hitting the feels.
NES Addict sent me a picture of him crying.
Wow.
Yeah, it got him. And he was like,
it definitely gets that holiday feels for you.
It did. It hit pretty hard at the end.
But I do feel a little gypped because it was all about, he starts off, I'm going to tell you the story how I got my Nintendo. Yep. And that wasn't the story. He got it from working. Like it was a totally different story.
Yeah. They skipped like the last 20% of how he got that Nintendo, but which was very crucial to him actually getting the Nintendo.
Right.
So yeah, I think he didn't tell the story he was saying. It should have been the story of how I tried to get a Nintendo and eventually got one.
But that wouldn't sell as well. So
yeah, true. I thought it was good. I really liked the movie. I wanted to do like a whole review on it, whatnot thing. I've even thought about like talking about movies candidly with like almost no editing on a green screen. That's kind of why I set that up.
Oh, okay.
And just like, cool. just chat. Like I'm not big editing, just talking about movies and things that I like. Cause we're not only into games,
Right. Well, speaking of movies, since this is me and my wife's first Christmas together,
Ooh,
I'm showing her movies she hasn't seen before. We watched Jingle All the Way.
she's never seen it.
No, Arnold
Wow.
Schwarzenegger.
What'd she think?
She had a good time with it. I was like, Sinbad's in it. I was like,
I love
that's
Sinbad
super funny.
in that movie. Yeah.
And
That's a great movie.
we talked about it though, how, with the nostalgia of it. And I was like, kids won't really experience anything like this now because kids aren't going to like malls for Christmas shopping. Like everything's done online. You're ordering on Amazon or this and that. And there's almost no struggle of like, I got to go wait at the store and get this item or it's sold out. It's like, just got it online or buy it on Craigslist or eBay for an inflated price.
No, it's true. I think my wife and I are very specific in our parenting that we like to make sure that our kids I don't know, sense, not that we're like old boomers or anything, but it's like we're trying to avoid so much of this now mentality of the world.
Yeah.
We like them to try on things and look at things. Make sure you really want this. Prove to me you really want this.
Yeah.
My kids wanted a dog for probably 7 years. And it took us like 7 years of them asking and proving to us that they could handle a dog to where we're like, okay, you can have a dog,
Nice.
like you have proven it. And that's kind of what, we're trying to avoid like that, just like quick mentality type thing. Like what you said too, kids are, so it's very different nowadays. So
nice.
That or I'm a bad dad. No.
Oh my God. I think that sums up everything about what we look for in collecting and playing the games. That nostalgia, how it hits hard.
Yeah, I like it, man. Yeah, I'm curious too what people think in the comments. Tell us, because I feel like it's nostalgia is such a specific thing. I want to know what hits for you guys that are watching. Like, what hits for you where you're like, boom, need it? Because something's gonna hit you that either makes you go, I'll keep walking, or I'm gonna get that. I need that. Like I need. It's almost not like I want it. It's like, I need to buy that.
A quick tie-in. My buddy Sean over at 8-Bit Glitch 79 channel. He's doing 12 days of nostalgia on his channel.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I filmed a segment for that talking about well, you have to tune in to find out, but
tune in. It's on to be on his channel, right?
Yeah.
I met him at Southeast Game Exchange.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Very nice guy.
Definitely.
Good. Well, let us know in the comments below and buy something for your son.
Yeah, we got For My Son t-shirts in the description. And I actually have winter RussLyman shirts too. We got one with Mario in his penguin suit and one with the NES controller. Ooh. That's like ice and stuff. It looks sweet.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, Russ.
Sweet, guys. Well,
we cheersing? I forgot.
We cheers and get your cups. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Riff and Russ. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this episode. And as always, keep your world fun bit by bit. See you next episode. Ba-ding.